What is this place high in the Andes Mountains? With a mysterious cave, a false doorway, and a stone throne made from bluestone andesite, are we looking at a symbolic Inca ceremonial site? Or is this a functional interdimensional portal made by some ancient lost civilization? Come with me, Camille Sauve, author of the book Sorcerers of Stone, Architects of the Three Ages, as we take a deep dive into the mysteries of this ancient site. Driving from Pisac to the town of Pachar in the Sacred Valley of Peru, we pass through bucolic farmland surrounded by high mountain peaks. And just 10 minutes from Ollantaytambo, we come to the recently constructed 110 thoroughfare, which connects Ollantaytambo to Cusco. Here we stop at where the train tracks meet the road and the river and find Ñaupa Iglesia archaeology site.
How beautiful.
And here we are at Ñaupa Iglesia. And look at this, guys. Look at the mountains here. These are sandstone mountains with andesite bluestone outcroppings. And we are in a valley approximately 13,000 feet. So we're getting close to, at the tops here, it's getting close to 4,000 meters. And you could just see how stunning this place is. So now we're heading up to Ñaupa Iglesia, and the really interesting thing about this site is it's very sacred, and a lot of shamans and spiritual people come here. And but even though there's lots of videos on YouTube about it, they mainly miss some key highlights of the site. And one of them is right here. This is a cave system. Well, it's not a cave, actually. It's more like a grotto. And this place represents Ukupacha. And people come here and they place offerings here in this grotto. And you can see a fire was happening here sometime in the past. And we can see coca leaves right over here. So almost no videos talk about this place. We are doing an offering to start our journey on this route up this very steep incline of a mountain. And next we will be heading into the part of the mountain called Kaypacha, which is our everyday world. Now we are on the Inca Stairway, which leads to the two shrines that are higher up on this mountain. You can see it's not very even, this stairway here. Many of the individual rocks of different sizes. And you really lose your breath at this altitude. We're getting close to 3,700 meters here. Okay, look at the valley in the back. So we're now heading up this direction. Let me turn my camera around. And right in the middle is a big slab of andesite, and that is where they have another shrine here for the Middle Kingdom, or Kaypacha. So I'm gonna try to head up there. It's a little dodgy, but here we go. So here we're coming to the middle world, Kaypacha, and we're gonna find a beautiful temple, Inca-built temple. Ooh, gotta be careful here, it's a bit of a drop. And most people never go here. They just go up to see the bluestone portal. And this is a very sacred place where a lot of people put their offerings to ask for protection, sometimes to ask for wealth, and sometimes just to honor Pachamama and the Apus. And here we have 4 niches, and you can see the offerings put in here. There's a lot of coca leaves right here, and some flowers. So, beautiful spot, a little difficult to negotiate up to this mountain, but it's well worth it. And look how the Inca, like the megalithic culture, built right into these bedrock stones. We don't have the precision that we see with the megalithic work, but they definitely wanted to integrate the 3 worlds all together to honor the underworld, the middle world, and the higher heavenly realms. Okay, let's walk up the stairway here. I really hope this is an easier path than the one I just came from. Blah. So look at this, guys. This cut in this granite, and it points directly to a cave over here. But before we go up to the portal and the 3 thrones, blue rock, let's look at this Inca structure here. And this doorway is only about 3.5 feet high and probably 3 feet wide. Oh, actually it has to be less, but it's a double-jamb door, so it has some ritual function here. And even the outer windows are double-jammed, so this site shows that it had some ceremonial function. And you can see here a bluestone andesite. When we go in, And all the niches are Double-Jamb. So were the Ñaupas here? Was this their building, or was this the Inca? But we can see people have done offerings here, flowers. So look at this stone. Isn't that interesting that it looks like another surface application was applied on this stone? Very strange. Different color. And that could be bleaching from the sun over time. But this is what they call a basaltic stone. This is andesite, and I don't know if there's geologists here who have an idea of how that could happen. And even on this side of this stone, we can see another niche formed right into this andesite. The side of line to the cave. So this is on this side, or actually in the front of this waka. And you can see that they carved a niche here into this bluestone andesite. And pieces of it were broken down here. And over here, you can see the Inca wall. And because the site is a popular site for meditation and spiritual ceremonies, it's usually the energy here is one where people reflect and they want silence. So I'm trying to not talk too loudly now that we have some people here. And this is the famous blue stone. And you can see people have put offerings here. And here's the portal. And the interesting thing about this alcove here is it has built-in ratios which match musical ratios. So we have a perfect 1/5 height and then 5th length, which makes a perfect third in a musical notation. And in the alcove here, we see a 5/6 ratio, which comes out to a 3rd minor octave. So perhaps the people who were coming here were using tones to open this portal. It is said that if you place your pineal gland here and maybe hum some tones, you can go in other dimensions. And many people believe the beings called the Ñaupas, which are the ancient ones, Macha Ñaupas, would use these doors to go in other dimensions. So the question is this a real portal which could transport someone to another dimension? Or was this just a symbolic representation of a doorway used for ceremonial purposes? Although I have not heard of anyone passing specifically through this doorway, there is a man who alleges that he went through a false doorway in south of Peru. His name is Jerry Wills, and here he talks about going through a key-shaped door at Aramu Muru near Lake Titicaca. Here he talks about using 3 tones that was given to him by a man he met in Ollantaytambo, and he was told never to tell anybody these 3 tones.
We went there at 11 o'clock at night. Everybody was hot after the 11, 11, 11, blah, blah, blah. So I thought, okay, well, maybe this is important. So we went there. Went there with a group of people who were our passengers. There was a small group, actually. I think it was probably 4 or 5 others besides Kathy and I. And the whole intent of going there that late at night was to make all 3 tones to see what would happen. And I'm a little apprehensive, but I figured, I really doubt anything is going to happen. So I got up there, and the overwhelming sense of dizziness and falling occurred, but I fought my way through it, kept focused, and kept making the 3 tones over and over and over until finally it felt as though it sucked me forward and I was just falling. Now, this is the point where Kathy was watching, and she could tell you what she saw, and I'll ask her to do that in just a moment. I was moving through what seemed to be the cosmos at an extraordinarily rapid rate. So fast, it just is mind-boggling. And within a very short time, I was deposited into a room, at least it seemed like a room, a quite large arena sort of place, that was all white. I couldn't tell floors from wall to ceiling. It was like being suspended in a bubble of white. Although I could stand on the floor, I could tell I was standing on something. And trying to get my wits about me, because this just didn't even seem possible. Within a short time, there was a sound of a man talking as they were talking over an intercom system, and was apparently a bit surprised that I was there, asked me who I was, and I told him, and he welcomed me, surprisingly enough. I asked him who he was, and he said, well, we're the ones who constructed the doorway. And then went on to explain to me how they had made these doorways, and they interconnect through some means to other places on our planet, on Earth, and also to other worlds out there in the cosmos.
Knowing Jerry's story, I decided to try toning inside this alcove, with no intention of actually going through the portal, but I just wanted to see how resonant the sound quality was. The sound is very, very resonant. And here's the cave. And here we can see 8 niches, double-jamb niches created by the Inca. And we can see their stonework is very rustic. with very rough, loose stones with mortar in between. And then we come over here and we see the precise cuts in the stone. And look at this. We got a 3-stepped up Chicana here. And this is really endemic all over the Andes. And a doorway. And here too, we can see Chicanas down on the bottom here. And these kinds of cuts with these triple doors or false doors are seen really everywhere, including in Turkey. And look at this Chicana over here. And the precision of these forms. Some people think it's laser cut. And this is definitely a hard stone. This is andesite. So to do this with such precision and how smooth it is, it's polished. So we know the Incas didn't really have the tools to do this. And most archaeologists today and a lot of guides are saying this is pre-Inca. So things are changing. It used to be always this is Inca, but now even the guides and many archaeologists have doubts about that. And here, unfortunately, is where there's 2 stories here. One of the stories is the Spanish wanted to destroy this waka, and they put some black powder here. And I don't know how they would drill a hole, because I don't know if the Spanish would have the tools to do that. But anyways, it is said they put some black powder here and blew up this waka to destroy these wakas because they were sacred to the natives. The second story says that there were some local railway workers who thought there was some treasure underneath this waka. And they brought some dynamite and put it up here and blew up the stone to see the treasure that was supposed to be here. But unfortunately for them, there's no treasure here. And unfortunately for us, we have a blown up waka. So another thing about this blue stone with the 3 seats is I have heard that shamans here have said on the right side is the masculine side, and on the left side here is the feminine side. So one could imagine if one's sitting in the middle, you are getting both energies, both masculine and feminine energy. So if you're sitting in the middle, you should be able to be balanced. And that is something all esoteric traditions talk about, is being balanced between the male and female aspects of personality. So look at this.
So this could be a geopolymer because there's...
Right. Yeah, it does kind of look like
stones.
a geopolymer here.
Yeah. And that's just polished.
So the rest of the stone is this medium gray, and then we have this light brownish color.
And you have stones here, red stones that stand out.
Oh, right.
And different one. Look at this one has the calcite running through the original stone that's in there.
Yeah,
look at that.
Exactly.
That's amazing. And then the one above it.
Yeah,
same as here.
And what's interesting, look at how the circumference of this rock is.
Yeah.
And then look at the calcite ends
It's in
right
the
at
original rock.
it ends right at that circumference.
Same thing here. There's a
Yeah.
calcite running through this purplish rock here.
Right, exactly. In fact, it's all over.
But then you have weird because this runs right through this rock here. Look how that runs through.
Yeah.
That's weird.
Right.
This one has it going through. This rock here has its own calcite.
Right, exactly.
I see green. You can see green stone over there. Purple, purple, purple. Look at that big purple one.
So guys, could this whole thing be a geopolymer? I mean, how? How would you do that?
The size of that one.
That is huge.
This one, look, there's 4. Big one, small one, different color. This one,
Right.
this one, this one, this one.
Or is this natural andesite? Is this how natural andesite comes into formation? And here where the portal is, we can see how perfectly planed and polished this andesite stone is. And likewise on the blue stone throne down below, which has rounded corners. Just what kind of tool could have done this?
This one hitting like that. Some love. Here's the other one. Thousands of hands. Lay down. I wonder what was right here. And the Spanish knocked off. Wow. Beautiful, nice.
Here we see many offerings that people have left while visiting this site.
Interesting.
So somebody left as an offering a washer and a bolt here.
I guess they reached in their pockets. What do I have?
Yeah, we got to find something.
Maybe they're constructing something and they wanted to leave an offering for their new construction.
So now we have a line of people waiting for people to leave Ñaupa Iglesia so they can go and meditate. So that's how popular this place is, but they tend to like to have the site themselves. But some people can be up there for hours, so might as well share the experience. And I did it with a few people up there, and very powerful. In fact, my skin had goosebumps all over because of the energy there. Many of the people come here are sending off some pretty powerful energy themselves, as well as the site itself and the cave and the portal. So it can amplify the energies if you all sit together and do a meditation. So it is said that in this cave, there are many branches that go underground, Chicanas. And I wonder if this is where the Ñaupas are living. These are the beings, metaphysical beings, that are said to reside here and sometimes go through the portals here. At other times, it is said that there are real physical small beings that live underground. And I have not met them, but I know many people who live in the Sacred Valley who say they have seen the physical beings. So it does make you wonder, what is going on here? So look at this calcite collecting on the outside of the stone here. It's just huge. And this massive vein cutting right through the stone.
Yeah, that's
Okay, Andrew looks like he has. That's sandstone.
it's awesome.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
It's a piece of wood, petrified.
Uh-huh.
Piece of wood that's petrified.
Yeah,
Nice and smooth.
you can
though,
see the
right?
layers
Yeah.
on that. And here we can see how this inverted V-shaped ledge goes all the way up. And you see the ledges on both sides of the stone.
Come over here, you'll see.
So look at this, guys. So right where this wedge is sticking out of the mountain, it points exactly to the cave right over there. So the question is there something there in that cave that they wanted us to know about? A lot of cave systems on that opposite mountain there. Right over here to the left. Yeah, we see what looks like a cave entryway. And up above,
Look at that one stone.
it does look like a tower up here.
Look at the stone perched on top of the, on the right of the adobe red soil. If you look, there's one stone perched up on top, white.
A white one?
Yeah, see it to the right?
Oh, yeah. I think he's talking about right over here.
So today I ran into Cusconians, Arequipa. That's who still is up there, those two. And Argentinians.
Yeah, I almost got caught.
Yep, see how that lip catches the back of your heel.
Yeah. I hope you enjoyed this trip to Ñaupa Iglesia. And if you like this kind of video, please like, subscribe, and share. I would really appreciate it. Also, please send a super thanks my way. Every contribution really helps so that I can make these videos, as it takes a lot of time and resources. So if you can, I would really appreciate it. So for those of you who like beer, I would highly recommend this place, Cerveceria de Valle Sagrado. Hola, buen provecho.
Buen provecho, buen provecho.
Es que Cerveceria Valle Sagrado.
Got it.
Salud.
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 Salud.